This is the Earth, right? Fuck no! This is the Earth! You know what I don't understand? Climate change deniers. Like, the world is literally being destroyed and no one cares. Like, there are literally people who will deny scientific consensus that the world is being destroyed due to climate change and human exacerbation. It's like humans are exacerbating the problem. But people, not only do people just not care, people don't think that it's real. I'm just sitting there thinking like these people think, oh yeah, climate change is a hoax, it's a hoax, it's a hoax, it's a hoax. Climate change, fake news, fake news. It's fake news, who cares? Fake news, climate change, hoax, who cares? Bullshit, hoax, fake news. I'm like, so you disagree with substantiated empirical scientific evidence? Of course you do, because you're a fucking conservative. It's like I don't understand it. Like, you disagree with climate change, a substantiated thing based on mountains of evidence, and like you just scoff at the notion of humans are contributing to the destruction of the planet, as if that it doesn't affect everyone. Like, oh, you know, these fucking liberals are fucking it's making stuff up, man, it's a hoax. Motherfucker, it affects everyone. Everybody on the fucking planet. You fucking ignoramus. It's like, once you take a topic and you politicize it, you put it onto a partisan identity politics context, then it becomes so polarized that, oh, just because I seen it on Fox News, yeah, man, on corporate media, I gotta agree with it, cause I'm a Republican, you know, and I just don't think, I just regurgitate what they shove down my throat, you know, cause I'm a dumbass. I'm inept, I'm incapable of critical thought, you know, cause I'm so fucking stupid. It's like, I don't understand, like, you could take something so simple and so evident and like just isolate it from politics, right? And any sane, rational human would be like, oh yeah, perfectly. That's perfectly possible. You know, that's totally that's a thing. Sure, I'll agree with that. But you put a fucking sticker of a fucking red elephant, a fucking blue donkey, motherfuckers lose their shit. I don't understand. It's just, dude, fuck me. You know, I see all of this fucking talk about millennials, they're destroying this, and it's the millennials' fault, you know, using a generalized group of people as the scapegoat of whatever topic you want to insert, right? Even though that millennials, thing that concept is total bullshit, not based off any scientific evidence. But that's a whole nother story. But no wonder the younger generation has so high rate of depression. No wonder they have such a high rate of depression, right? Because they live in a world where their future looks grim and bleak. They're living in a world where they may not live into old age because the fucking planet's destroyed. The planet's being destroyed at an astronomical rate. And the leaders, the politicians, the people that you motherfuckers just blindly vote for, and oh yeah, we support those people that blatantly don't give a fuck about us or the well-being of the planet. Yeah, man, these people, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about the well-being of the planet. Who would have known, You give a guy absolute power, and they use it to their advantage. They become corrupt. Who would have fucking knew? Come to find out, turns out, right? Man, it's really, it is depressing. They're telling you, giving you all of this advice of minutia and mundane, trite horseshit. Like, just, keep your head straight, keep that nose down, hop on the fucking hamster wheel, get into the rat race, kiss ass, wear those knee pads out, everything's just gonna be alright. Everything will be fine, man. You know why? Because Big Daddy told me so. Big Daddy, yeah, man, Big Daddy. The big daddy that I seen on the goddamn news. He told me it's gonna be all right if I vote for him. He said he's gonna make America great again. And I believe him. I bought it. I bought it. That's horse shit, man. Pure bullshit. All of this stuff that you're trying to act like nothing's wrong. You're trying to, make things seem like, because it's the system that we want, it's perfect and it's not contributing to any type of destruction or detriment. But it is. And we're all paying for it. Because once you have this system where essentially, effectively, you have a group of psychopaths who determine the outcome of the world. Who would have known? You're even in the hands of a few people who lack the capability of empathy, that total destruction will ensue. Just imagine how dystopian that is. You're growing up in an era where you're expected to be a good student, make good grades, get into college, get a job, be a loyal employee, and maintain a stable career. You're expected to do these things over the backdrop of utter planetary destruction. While being in a system which incentivizes the people with power to exacerbate this planetary destruction, while making the humans' worth, their usefulness to these corporations causing planetary destruction, while there's an influx of automation, machines, robots, who are becoming cheaper to produce, and thus causing these corporation owners, these capitalists, to abandon the human laborer for these machines, causing mass unemployment, rampant poverty, in a society which people are clinging on to these antiquated notions that the system should stay as it is. We don't want change. And the other half of the people are saying, the system's okay. We just need to reform it a bit. Well, I'm saying the system is inherently designed this way. All of these things are features, not bugs. If that's not a dystopian cyberpunk story, I don't know what is. But wait, it's not fiction, it's real life. I have no interest in preserving these primitive, antiquated constructs just because it makes you feel comfortable. I don't care about that, you know? I think that we should all be on the side of science because it has demonstrated its reliability over other methods that people like to use, such as faith or, group think and gut feelings and, getting information from within or third eye or whatever other woo-woo bullshit you want to pull out of your ass. The evidence is that climate change is being exacerbated by humans. Examples such as using primitive forms of energy, using primitive sources of energy like coal and other fossil fuels, right? These megacorps using these huge factories, emitting all of this pollution, destroying the ozone layer, destroying the atmosphere. These automobiles literally shooting out pollution every day. These factory farms with all this methane, greenhouse gas. Tons of other things, but those are just to name a few. And people just don't seem to care, right? They just don't seem to care. because we need some jobs. What about the jobs? Fuck your job. I don't give a fuck about your job. The planet is literally being destroyed. You worried about fucking mining coal? You worried about fucking hauling metal? You fucking worried about fucking being a flunky on a boat? So let me logically reduce this to absurdity. We should continue to let the planet be destroyed because Tom, Dick, and Harry want to shoehorn the use of primitive energy sources for the economic interest of capitalists, hinder the progression of technology in favor of obsolete human labor, and be subservient to a capitalist dictator because some guy told you to, and you're inept and unable to analyze new information. Makes sense. No wonder the youth is so depressed, because their future is not secure. You know, you have these people saying to go to college and get a job while ignoring evidence of climate change. And what they fail to understand is, at this rate, there won't be a planet to do anything on. You know, look into the mind. Try to empathize with the perspectives of other people, right? For a second. Look at someone growing up in the world today and imagine what they think their future is going to be like. They don't have this image of a secure retirement. You know what's their retirement plan? Hope the world gets fucking destroyed so they don't have to deal with any of this shit. Just hope that, well, you know, the earth's getting destroyed. I hope I'm just in the midst of it, so fuck it, man. I don't have to have a plan. Fuck it. Shit's fucked anyway. You know, it reminds me of Dragon Ball Z. You got intergalactic tyrants trying to destroy the earth. And you got Goku trying to train his son for the imminent threat. Then on the other hand, you have Goku's wife, Chi-Chi, who's just complaining and nagging, saying, "Oh, I don't want my son to train and be a delinquent. I want my son to be a scholar. He's gonna be a scholar." And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, you stupid bitch. There's not gonna be a fucking planet to do anything on if you don't fucking save it. I mean, how hard of a concept is that to fucking grasp? I don't want, like, what? Oh, I get it. The reason why no one cares about the planet being destroyed is because they think the end times are here. The end is nigh. Jesus coming. Jesus coming. He gonna kill everybody. He gonna destroy everything, man. Jesus coming to save us, man. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. Jesus. We gonna go home to Jesus' heaven. He gonna destroy all this shit, man. He gonna blow it up. Yeah, hell yeah. They think the world is going to hell, so everything being destroyed is a good sign to them, because they think they're going to some sort of afterlife, which causes them to neglect the life that they have here and now. See, this is why I advocate skepticism. Having an accurate perception of reality. Because if you have an inaccurate perception of reality, more times than not, you're going to make an ineffective decision. You're going to make ineffective decisions about reality. Your distorted perception of reality is going to get you hurt. Not only is it going to get you hurt, it's going to get people around you hurt. Because your actions have consequences. Right? But people want to believe in fairy tales, I guess. You know, people just want to feel like they have an answer. Even though they don't, they'll rather just make one up. But, you know, God is nothing more than an ever-receding pocket of human ignorance. And then you got these people that brag about working hard. You know, they'll be like, I bust my ass. I bust my fucking ass. I bust my fucking ass. I got 2 jobs. I work 2 jobs. I bust my fucking ass. Okay, we get it. You're a slave. Want a cookie, bitch? And there's this other thing, man. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Put your head down, pound the pavement. Bootstraps theory. Unironically, using the phrase pull yourself up by the bootstraps to admonish poor people. That's how I know you're just regurgitating capitalist propaganda. Because you don't even know the origin of the phrase that you're saying. You know, the origin of that phrase was used to mean doing something ludicrous or impossible. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. That's not even physically possible. Okay, that's physically impossible. I mean, just imagine it. Just imagine yourself trying to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Like physically trying to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. And you people, you use this unironically to mean what it doesn't mean. Like, what? The origin of that phrase was used in the context of trying to rise in social class in capitalism. It's like trying to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, meaning that it is ludicrous or impossible. So you're unironically using a phrase to mean the exact opposite of what it was intended to mean. You know, so your usage of that phrase doesn't work physically, nor does it work conceptually. You know, trying to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, you know, trying to rise in socioeconomic class in a rigged system, in a system that's broken by design, to specifically have, people that win and people that lose, winners and losers. There's no middle class. It's rich and poor. Inherently, capitalism is inherently exploitative. There's inherently going to be exploitation. From the bourgeoisie class, the capitalist class that own the means of production, and the proletariat, the working class, the people that don't get surplus value of their labor. I mean, it's just so blatantly obvious that you just take whatever has been force-fed to you and you just spew it out. You just regurgitate it mindlessly. It's like you take the status quo as an axiom. You presuppose the status quo. You presuppose that the status quo is automatically true, not only true, but the most effective way to live. And that's not logical, that's not rational. That's just a load of bullshit. You can't just presume a conclusion. You can't just make a bald assertion of a conclusion. That's just not rational. So with that being said, these people, they start off with this thing that they've taken as an axiom, right? Something they just asserted as truth. So with that being said, since these people have presumed a conclusion, they've made a bald assertion, they've taken something as an axiom, something that they assert and accept as truth without evidence, in order to rationalize and justify that worldview, they have to have a scapegoat, right? And that scapegoat is poor people. That people who are poor are somehow inherently flawed, right? That there must be something that in essence makes them flawed, makes them the reason for their position. See, they can't analyze new information because they've already accepted and asserted that they have the truth. So to rationalize their worldview, they have to cherry pick information. See, their worldview is static, but reality isn't static. Reality is dynamic. It's ever changing. So they have to have a scapegoat. They have to have a scapegoat. It can't be that the system as a whole is inherently flawed and broken by design. No, it has to be something gone wrong within the system. It's something, someone is perverting the system. Someone is exploiting a loophole in the system, causing it to fail, to glitch. There's a glitch. There's a glitch in the matrix. They're working the system. They're abusing the system. No. The system is broken by design. It is inherently flawed. There's no malfunction in the system. This is how it is inherently designed. Because when you have a system that not only incentivizes and rewards psychopathy, but it breeds it, when a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. I don't understand how people can think that climate change and the fact that humans exacerbate it is such a far-fetched concept. I mean, just think about it. You strap yourself to a rolling bomb filled with combustible fluid every day. You have these mega corporations taking a readily available resource and just perverting it, exploiting it, and adding hazardous materials to it that aren't biodegradable, causing waste that's even contributing even more to the problem. And then you have jackasses like the guys in the background cutting fucking grass with a fucking big ass explosive machine filled with blades going so fast that the human body and mind wasn't meant to comprehend. No wonder, Oh, who would have known? You know, who would have known? You know, hello. You know, come to find out, oh, humans are contributing to climate change. That's another thing, though. Like, motherfuckers have a fucking lawn, a patch of useless grass that they spend time, money, and effort to keep up in order to uphold some sort of arbitrary, meaningless social status. You know, maybe if you planted, you know, a garden of trees, we'd be in a better position. But your little primate monkey mind, your little fascination with shiny things and, you know, popularity, and the other monkeys jumping and fucking praising and screaming and shouting around you, you know, you're just fascinated with that. You know, your mind, that lizard brain, that primitive brain is more fascinated with spectacle than fact. Intriguing. We have state-of-the-art technology with an economic system from the Dark Ages. Just think about that. All of this advanced technology that we have, all of this information, we have literally the collective knowledge of the entire human species in the palm of our hands. So all this advanced technology with an economic system from the freaking feudal era. We have all of this advanced technology with an economic system from the feudal era. So why don't we take all of this information and technology to progress the world as a whole? Because it's not economically viable. See, that's the thing. Here's the thing. You have a system where well-being is foregone to turn life into a zero-sum game, right? Where there are inherently winners and losers. So, with that being said, you know, there's no such thing as a good job. You know, all of these things just culminate from this myopia, you know, myopic view of capitalism, this personal, you know, this hustle culture, you know, hustle, obtain currency by any means necessary, whether it's unethical or not, doesn't matter. Whether it's destroying the planet, doesn't matter. And this is why people don't seem to care. This is why it is continuing to happen at an exponential rate. Because everybody is not looking at the whole. Everyone's looking at their individual point of view. You know, that's why I say capitalism, not only does it rewards and incentivizes psychopathy, but it breeds psychopathy. You know, otherwise decent, rational, empathetic people, you know, they consider doing unethical, immoral things to get money, because that's the name of the game. There's no such thing as a good job. A job is an antiquated, obsolete concept that should and will cease to exist. Get that through your head. Right? It should, my take on it is that it should cease to exist because it's apparently exploitative, obvious, blatantly exploitative, and it will cease to exist because that is the inherent design of capitalism, to increase profits as much as possible while keeping costs as low as possible, which means getting rid of human laborers for machines, causing, rampant poverty, and, you're either going to have to implement some sort of universal basic income, or, however they want to adjust their inherently flawed system, Or you can just revamp the entire thing as a whole, get rid of it for something obviously better, but essentially all of this stuff boils down to the planet is getting destroyed for the economic interest of a few billionaires. What? You know what really grinds my gears? This whole self-help, self-discipline, toxic positivity, pull yourself up by the bootstraps bullshit. This notion that, hey man, if you just work 100 hours a week, man, you can be successful, man. I'm telling you, man, wake up, man, at 4:30 p.m., man, 4:30 a.m., man. I'm telling you, man, you gotta work hard, man. Put your head down, man. Put that nose down, man. That horse shit, That is nonsense, man. First of all, working 100 hours a week, that's implausible. Thing about it is that's not an efficient way to do anything. First of all, it's promoting busy work, just doing something 100 hours a week. That's just so arbitrary. But the thing is, they're telling you that so that you can go work 100 hours a week for their company and make them money. Work 100 hours a week. The motherfuckers telling you that don't work 100 hours a week. They got other people working for them while they rake in billions. Utter bullshit. The propaganda is just so obviously, transparently, blatantly bullshit. They're trying to spread this notion that, if you don't work 100 hours a week, you can't complain because look at these quote unquote successful people, these billionaires, these rich people, they work 100 hours a week. So why can't you? That's how you got to be rich, man. You got to work 100 hours a week to sell you this illusion, this myth, this notion that they somehow worked harder than you to get where they're at, to get that money. They didn't work harder than you. 9 people own more wealth than 3.5 billion people. So those people are just not working hard. The hardest working people I see are the poorest people. The rich people, they don't work hard. They're rich. Pay some other guy to do it. They just pay somebody else to do the work. It's like people don't even understand capitalism. And this other notion that, it's the citizens' fault. it's the citizens' fault that, you know, the world is being destroyed at a astronomical rate. And I'm not gonna say that that the citizens don't play a part. They do play a part. They play a big part. But the underlying cause are these factories. These factories that produce all this greenhouse gas, and all of this pollution, all of these toxic emissions from these factories and these chemical refineries and these plants, these chemical plants. But they're gonna sell you the propaganda that you need to fucking use a paper straw, or, you know, you need to fucking go vegan or something, you know. And I'm not saying that these things are necessarily bad. You know, do those things because they are good, you know, on an individual level. And if more people did things like, you know, ride a bike, or, you know, eat healthier, eat a plant-based diet, stuff like that, yeah, that would make the world a better place incrementally. But I'm talking about getting at the root cause, at the bottom of the actual problem. You know, you looking at the surface and putting a band-aid on a goddamn fucking shotgun wound. I don't get it. It's like, dude, just open your eyes, look at the evidence. You know, they didn't work harder than you. These capitalists that are exploiting the people, that are destroying the planet, they are at the root of the problem. And if everyone came to the conclusion, if everyone came together and said, yeah, you know, I will improve, I will try to be more ethical, I will try to be more ecologically, you know, efficient, you know, the world would be a better place. Ethical, ecologically friendly. But there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. So with that being said, if everyone did decide, yes, I'm going to try to live a more ethical, ecologically friendly life. If we're still under capitalism, that doesn't defeat the problem, because that is the problem. All that's going to happen is now these corporations are going to pander towards people that are trying to adopt a more, you know, ethical, healthier lifestyle. That's all that's going to happen. It's going to just continue the cycle of exploitation. It's like, I'm not making this stuff up. It's just blatantly evident. It's apparent. You know, it's so funny that we live in this era of this woke capitalism, this, you know, these corporations, they pretend to care about social justice so they can sell products to people that pretend to hate capitalism. The irony in that is so blatantly obvious. You know, these corporations, they pretend that they care about diversity, body positivity, LGBTQ, you know, so they can sell products to people who virtue signal that they hate capitalism, to people that are trying to sound trendy, but they're buying these products made by corporations that use sweatshops and slave labor. That is the era that we live in. This late stage capitalism, this woke, you know, conscious, quote unquote, capitalism. This is just this is bizarre. It's literally, it's genuinely bizarre. It's funny because if you point out these problems, if you point out these flaws in the way this current economic societal system is structured, no one cares because it's not marketable. You know, if you point out the fact that capitalism is inherently exploitative, no one cares because it's against the status quo, it's against social norms, it's against traditions, it's against what people are accustomed to. It's not marketable. Corporations can't make money off of it. You know, they don't care that, oh, these products that are being produced and are being advertised in your face, that these are made with slave labor. These are made in an unethical way. They're made in an environmentally destructive way. They're made in an unsustainable way. No one cares because it doesn't personally benefit them. So let's get this straight. They produce these products that they want you to buy, and you need a job to obtain the money, to obtain the currency to buy these, to purchase these items. But then they tell you, they feed you this notion, this idea that you have to work 100 hours a week to become capitalistically successful. First of all, that's not even feasible. That's not even feasible. You know, that is flat out unfeasible. Working 100 hours a week. Do you know how much money the richest people in the world have? It is, I mean, the insurmountable amount of wealth that these people have. You couldn't look me in the face. You couldn't look yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, these people obtained this amount of money because they worked harder than you. They just worked hard to get that money. That's completely asinine. See, this is the problem. People fear change. People fear progression because of the way this system is structured. That this notion that everything is a commodity, everything is commodified. Your life is commodified. Everything that surrounds you, your day-to-day life is commodified. The incentive behind that thing, these things, is money, is obtaining money. So you have a population of people who fear technological breakthroughs and advances such as automation, which are beneficial to humanity, which is beneficial to the world in general. But people fear it because of their clinging to these traditional values, these traditional ideas of how an economy is supposed to be run, how a society is supposed to be run, you know, and they fear change. So you have all of these things culminating to create all of this fear. Fear of automation. Fear of the robots taking the jobs. That is literally, automation is one of the greatest technological advances in human history. But since everything is commodified, including your lives, people are scared that they will be left to die. It's like they are scared to admit that, yeah, these corporations never cared about you. They only used you because of, you're just exploiting you the whole entire time. Only using you because it was convenient to them at the time. But now that it's getting even less convenient to use humans and more convenient to move to machines, they're scared of this idea, this fact. It's becoming more economically viable to move to machines and automation, leaving the little humans, the primates, behind. What will the primates do? Will they embrace this technological advancement? Will they revamp their entire society as they know it? Or will they fall to the wayside? Will they become the result of the demise that they caused? Will they cause their own downfall? Will they cause their own demise due to their inability to adapt? Will they succumb to the things that they caused, the social constructs that they created? These people encourage traits of psychopathy. People are encouraging psychopathy, but they don't even realize it. All these traits of hard work and success, these traits of what it takes to become a good businessman. What's good for business isn't synonymous with ethics. It's not synonymous with what's ethical. This idea of, the business first, the bottom line, profits over people, making money by any means necessary. Doesn't matter if you have to screw over other people. Doesn't matter, you made money. This amoral capitalist, this dream of becoming this amoral capitalist that just doesn't care, that lacks empathy, that is willing to fuck over their fellow human to obtain money, to obtain currency. This unhealthy obsession with keeping your head down and running your head into a wall. Just doing this busy work, just working, hard work, putting work before family, putting work before your mental health, putting work before everything else. Because of this idea of hard work equaling financial success. This is what is destroying society. This is going to be the downfall of society. But what people don't understand is, what people don't realize is, when you have all these people striving not to progress humanity, but to make money, to personally make money, and become this amoral capitalist, then they're going to realize that Well, it's more financially, economically viable to move on to machines, leave out, just leave out the humans who need them. Then there's going to be a surplus, an abundance of goods, of items, of products being produced, but the people are going to be too poor to afford these items. And that will be the collapse of capitalism, of American capitalism, of this entire society, civilization. Unless you revamp it, the entire system as we know it. It's funny when people say, hey guys, let's keep money out of politics. You fool. You can't keep money out of politics. Money is politics. Money is politics. The incentive behind everything in capitalism is money. It blatantly is. All of these structures, all of these policies, all of these social norms, they are centered around money. The incentive, the motivation, the motive is money. That's what it is, man. The thing about it is, you have these political affiliations, these political parties, identity politics. You have the conservatives, you have the liberals, right? The thing with both of these political affiliations, these political parties, these political positions, these stances have in common that they don't realize is they're both just pussy. They're both are pussies. They are both pussies. They both are scared. They both fear. They both are not using logic and reasoning to explain their positions, to justify their positions. The rationale is irrationality. On one hand, you have the conservative side, right? The conservatives. By definition, your position is keep things the same. Don't rock the boat too much. Don't rock the boat. Traditional values. You like the way things have been. You fear change. You don't want change. Whether that's for the better or for the worse, you don't want change. And the thing about it is the liberal side is the exact same thing, but don't be a meanie. Don't be a meanie. These notions of the victim can never be wrong. This isn't rationality. This isn't how you determine what is the correct way, the correct answer, the correct way of doing things. This is not logic. They're passing off these ideas as if they're progressive when they're really not. That's the funny part. The liberal party, the liberal position, they call themselves left wing. They call themselves progressive, but you're the same as conservatives. You're the same thing. You're not left, you're not progressive, you're regressive. You're both regressive. You're not revolutionary, you're not radical. You just see, that's the thing. But most people that they say left, they say the progressive party. They say, yeah, left, the progressive, the radical left. They're talking about liberals. But they're right wing. They are conservative. When I say left, when I say progressive, I'm talking about actual progression. I'm talking about radical progression. I'm talking about utterly revamping the entire system as we know it. Utter revolution. Radical revolution. I'm not talking about appealing to convenience. I'm talking about using the scientific method, logic, reason, skepticism, rationality, critical thinking, to formulate, to come up with the best way for humans to live, for sentient beings to live. The best way to make up a just society. That's what I'm talking about. And you're not gonna make a revolution by, coming up with these single issue movements, these things that pretend that these ideas that pretend that the problems that we face are in a vacuum. None of these problems are in a vacuum. You have to attack the underlying cause of the problem, the underlying root of the problem, which is capitalism, by the way. But you can't appeal to capitalism. You can't appeal to modern day American capitalism because it's more convenient that way. That's not how you're going to do it. You can do that. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever the fuck you want. But you can't at the same time call yourself a revolutionary. You can't call yourself a progressive. You can't say that you actually care about progression if you're going to do that. Because those two things are irreconcilable. These things don't go together. These things are mutually exclusive. You can't do both of these things simultaneously because they are contradictory. Yeah. You have to attack the problem at its root, at the cause of the problem. Don't just try to appeal to the problem because it's convenient. It's just not going to work that way. Like, you can't say that you're for social justice. You can't say that you're for, rights, the rights of minorities. You can't say that you're for the rights of LGBTQ. You can't say that you're for the rights of any group, period. You can't say that you're for social justice, but simultaneously are on the side of capitalism. That's contradictory. So you would, the way I look at it, you would have to be, to say that you are for social justice, you would have to be anti-capitalist, definitionally. It's like you would have to be anti-capitalist inadvertently, simultaneously. I just don't see it any other way. Maybe I'm wrong, I accept the fact that I can be wrong. I don't know everything. But I want to learn. I'm open to learn. I'm open to new ideas, to new information. And I will change my mind when that new evidence, when that new information is presented to me. But with conservatives, with liberals, they don't do that. They care more about being a flag waver, being a member of a team, than the actual cause, the actual goal of progressing humanity. They care about more about being a zealot, being more of a, I'm on this team, as opposed to your team. Our team's better than your team. This tribalism, this primitive tribalism, this nationalism, this sports-like, fanatical tribalism. You know what's peculiar? You know what's bizarre? This notion of entrepreneurship. This notion of becoming an entrepreneur. Getting money. But the thing about it is, being an entrepreneur, that just means being a scammer, being a scam artist. Convincing people to give you their money by any means. They don't say create a good product or a good service that will progress humanity and progress society. They say get money. Get money. Get money. It's like the notion of entrepreneurship. Yeah, if you're attempting to play capitalism, entrepreneurship, owning the means of production, passive income, all that stuff, that's better than a 9-to-5 job. But what I'm saying is the entire economic system is flawed. Fuck the entire thing. Fuck capitalism. You're smoking sherm if you think that being an entrepreneur is doing anything good for the world. All you're doing is convincing people to give you their money. Convincing people to transport money from their pocket to your pocket. That's it. You're shoehorning a market. You're shoehorning a need for something that just doesn't exist. That's why selling drugs is so lucrative. That's why, pyramid schemes, pump and dump schemes, Ponzi schemes, that's why these things are so lucrative. Because it's not about actually making the world a better place. It's about making money. There's a lot of ways to make money. But how does that impede humanity? Greatly. We have all of this knowledge and science and technology, right? But we do nothing with it. Why? Because of God and money and stuff. I think this era, this time period will be looked at as a dark age. Something like the Crusades. This will be looked at. This will be a dark age, right? The Dark Ages, where you have people that worship capitalism. You have the overwhelming majority of people who want a theocracy. They ate themselves to death. Obesity. Everything that they created was either some sort of nut buster, you know, some sort of instant stimulation, some type of pollution producer, or a flat out human killer, a human killing machine. Literally a device designed to kill their own species. You know, nuclear bombs. The nuclear bombs. Nuclear bombs. Right? Nuclear bombs. You know, some sort of masturbation device. That's what we use technology for. It's almost as if they're a victim of their own exceptionalism. They think that because they were born into their little bubbles of comfort and security, that they are exempt from everything that plagues every living organism that has ever existed. But you know, the laws of physics says you know, that's not the case. Not the case, man. You know, so you choose thoughts and prayers over using science to pervert the universe? You know, we're perverts. You know, we pervert biology. We pervert everything that we get our hands on. You know, artificial selection, domestication of animals and plants. This is what we do. Medicine, technology. This is what we do. It's like perverting the universe is all around you. All of this stuff has been perverted. All of this stuff has been exploited and manipulated to function in a specific way that benefits humans in some way, to the desire to meet the desires of humans in some way. Domestication of plants and animals, the food you eat every day, your pets, domesticated using science. You know, it's like flabbergasted, man. I'm fucking flabbergasted. Create a scientific utopia? No, they want it to be a coast-to-coast shopping mall. It's like pseudoscience. They like pseudoscience. They like conspiracy theories. They like things that make them feel good. They don't care about the facts, man. They don't care about the facts, man. You know, oh, you're playing God. You know, every time there's a scientific breakthrough, hey, you're playing God. First of all, you're making an unsubstantiated claim, an unfounded assertion, an unfounded axiom. To use that to impede the progression of humanity. And you're okay with that. If we can do things that your punk ass God can't do, then there's no need for a God. Where does God fit into the equation? You know, it's like you're shoehorning in this Bronze Age mythology, this, almost predisposition to believe something that makes you feel comfortable. This ever-receding gap of human ignorance. Why do you cling to these notions, these ideas? They're regressive, they're primitive. Throw them away. We don't need them. Good grief. The people who promote these irrationalities, these irrational faith-based positions, these people who uphold the status quo, you're traitors. You are a traitor. You're not a traitor to just a specific arbitrary social group or social class. You're a traitor to humanity. You're a traitor to the progression of everything that we call the world. You're a traitor. You're a conservative, you're a traitor. You're a traitor. If you're not for progression, you're a traitor. You're a cop, you're a traitor. You're a traitor. And then those people are bringing in more people into the world and conditioning them to be traitors. You betrayed the people. You betrayed the people. You betrayed everything. You betrayed everything, man. You're a traitor. You are a traitor. Some people just shouldn't be allowed to reproduce. Now, with all this being said, these people are traitors to humanity. These billionaires, these capitalists, these corporation owners, they are traitors to humanity. Do you know who else is a traitor to humanity? People who defend these people. Cops are traitors to humanity. Military personnel are a traitor. They are traitors to humanity. People who dick ride the status quo, gruel dick riders, are traitors to humanity. You're traitor. Not only you're traitor to humanity, you're traitor to every sentient being on the planet. You're a traitor to the planet. Right? You basically just said, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a flying fuck about the well-being of the planet and others, and that you only care about your personal greed, your personal interest. How ironic is that, right? Me, a self-proclaimed nihilist and misanthrope, actually cares about the well-being of the world more than people who claim that they're pro-life. How I look at the irony of that. Here's the thing. Nihilism, that's just the conclusion, the universe has no intrinsic meaning. Right? Okay. No intrinsic purpose. So that just means to me, I can just make up anyone that I want. Right? But the misanthrope, I don't have to be a misanthrope. I would say So sometimes I would define myself a misanthrope, consider myself a misanthrope because of how I've experienced humanity. Not just in my personal life, but in humanity's history. But that can change. Do I think it will? Probably not. But the thing about it is, these people are traitors to humanity. Regressives are traitors to humanity, traitors to the world. All sentient beings, all thinking agents, self-aware agents, they're traitors. Being a zealot to these corporations, being a zealot to statism, capitalism, religion. You are regressive and a traitor. You're a fucking traitor. So since the future and the well-being of society, civilization, and the planet seems bleak, grim, dystopian, abject, miserable, hopeless, well, the least you can do is resist. The least you can do is say, you know what, fuck it, I'm not taking this shit. You know? That's the thing. Here's the thing. It doesn't even have to be this big grand thing. It can start with one small incremental individual thing. You know? Steal from corporations. If you snitch, you're a bitch. You know? There's no reason why in an era of technological advancement, and all this information that we have, that we should still be clinging to these antiquated notions of how a society is supposed to be run. There shouldn't be starving people. There shouldn't be people that don't have basic necessities. There shouldn't be people working 2 and 3 jobs that still can't even afford basic necessities. This is utter bullshit. And there shouldn't be, you know, people who are not even secure, not even sure that they're gonna live into an elder age because of something that is caused by humans, something that we can fix, but just choose not to because of economic viability. I know things don't seem too good, and it seems like any effort to change it seems futile. But just remember, if you don't stand up for what's right, there won't be anything left. And remember that you have as much freedom as you have the intelligence to want and the courage to take.